Come see us on tour. We're going to be in Bakersfield, San Jose, California, Buffalo, New York, Toledo, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So big news from MAHA. They're getting rid of the chemical dyes that are petroleum-based in our food. That's the big news. RFK Jr. announces intent to phase out synthetic food dyes.
Just in time for the sun to go out.
Yep. That's now the commercial is going to say Skittles, taste the muted greens and browns. RFK Jr. just blew the lid off one of the food industry's dirtiest secrets. What he told his team before facing the food execs left the entire HHS headquarters stunned. MAHA just leveled up. So here is the new FDA guy, Dr. Marty Makary, and he's going to tell you that they're getting rid of food dyes. Watch this.
No one ingredient that accounts for the child chronic disease epidemic. And let's be honest, taking petroleum-based food dyes out of the food supply is not a silver bullet that will instantly make America's children healthy. But it is one important step. This administration is not interested in continuing down the path of doing the same old things as we watch our nation's children get sicker. We need fresh, new approaches. Cancer and diabetes in young people is going up at an alarming rate, and nobody seems to know why. We have to turn our attention to underlying causes, such as chemicals and toxins that children are exposed to, not just more insulin and chemotherapy. And let's not forget that the best way to lower drug prices is to stop taking drugs we don't need. 30 states concerned about this very issue have introduced bills or laws with a patchwork of standards for food companies. So the food industry, which has many good people, has asked for clarity. So today the FDA is taking the following steps. Number one, establishing a national standard and timeline for the food industry to transition from petroleum-based food dyes to natural alternatives. Number two, initiating a process to revoke authorization of synthetic food colorings, including those not in production, namely citrus red number 2 and orange B, within the coming weeks. Number three, taking steps to eliminate the remaining 6 synthetic dyes on the market from the U.S. food supply, specifically red dye number 40, yellow dye number 5, yellow dye number 6, blue dye number 1, blue dye number 2, and green dye number 3 by the end of next year.
What are you trying to do? Put the medical profession out of business? Come on. They rely on your children being fed petroleum-based poison for their entire future. They've got kids to feed as well, you know. Selfish bastards. Well, look at this. RFK's plan to phase out synthetic food dyes could face industry pushback. You think?
Why? Because it's some way queerphobic based on these colors.
So these are all those are petroleum-based colors. Petroleum-based. So, I'm pretty sure that means oil-based, right? What? Go ahead.
So as a boy, for breakfast, I would eat a bowl of fructose and petroleum.
Yep.
And we're going to phase it out. I mean, I guess that's good. We're phasing it out. I can't believe everybody in there wasn't going, wait, we've been eating petroleum? Because I really didn't. I didn't know I was just eating petroleum for my whole life.
So you're meaning to tell me that the industry that's consciously willing to poison your children is going to push back when you try to stop them? Huh. That's when the man himself, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, took to the stage. Listen to what he says. This is what he told them. If you want to eat petroleum, put it in your food at home. Watch this.
When my uncle was president, 3% of American kids had chronic disease. Today, it's around 60%. And these are a broad category. The ones that Marty mentioned, like
3% of kids had chronic disease. 60% have chronic disease now. What? And people are mad at RFK Jr. And they're mad at Joe Rogan. They're not. Isn't it amazing? We're a country of adult children of alcoholics. They're not mad at the people who are lying to them and beating them. They're mad at the people who are pointing out that they're being lied to and beaten.
ADHD, neurological disorders, ADD, ADHD, speech delay, language delay, tics, Tourette syndrome, narcolepsy, ASD, and autism. All of these are injuries that I never heard of when I was a kid. They were not part of the nomenclature. They weren't part of the dialogue. There was zero spent in this country treating chronic disease when my uncle was president. Today, it's about $1.8 trillion annually. It's bankrupting our nation. 74% of American kids cannot qualify for military service. So how are we going to maintain our global leadership with such a sick population? We have all these autoimmune diseases, these exotic diseases. And again, I never heard of juvenile diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Crohn's disease, and 100 others that were just unknown when I was a kid. I never knew anybody with a peanut allergy. I never knew anybody with a food allergy. Why do 5 of my 7 kids have allergies?
Well, Bobby, I bet they have allergies because they didn't receive their 11th booster.
I was going to say anti-Semitism, but that's maybe
probably
why.
anti-Semitism and a combination, yes. Then came the moment that brought the house down. Here it is. Here's the moment. Here we go.
And when I went in a few months or about a month ago to meet with the food companies, I was talking with my staff about these petroleum-based dyes, and I said, if they want to add petroleum, if they want to eat petroleum, they ought to add it themselves at home. But they shouldn't be feeding it to the rest of us. And without our knowledge or consent. And unfortunately, we're going to get rid of the dyes, and then one by one, we're going to get rid of every ingredient and additive in food that we can legally address.
So how are kids supposed to build up their toxic environment immune systems? I mean, when they step outside to breathe in aluminum that's been cloud seeded into the air. Come on. I like that. Hey, if you want to eat petroleum, add it in your food at home.
Well, maybe I will.
So here's his plan to win.
It's not the time to stop. It's the time to redouble your efforts because we have them on the run now. And we are going to win this battle. And 4 years from now, we're going to have most of these products off the market, or you will know about them when you go in the grocery store. So I want to thank you. And finally, and most importantly, I want to thank President Trump. President Trump often, says that he's going to make America great again. But he knows that he cannot make our country great again if our country is weak, if we're not healthy, if we don't have vigor, if we're not a robust people. He says that he's going to restore the American dream. And a healthy person has 1,000 dreams. The sick person only has one. And right now, there's 60% of the people in this country who have only one dream. If they can make it through a day without pain, with energy, without having to take medications. And we are going to change that for our country. And I want to thank the moms and thank President Trump for his confidence in my leadership and for allowing me to surround myself with such an extraordinary team of scientists who are going to restore transparency to this agency, who are going to do replicated science, who are going to restore gold standard science so we know what's in our food and we can eliminate it. Thank you all very much.
All right, what's with the MAHA people always wanting to know what's in their food? Have they never eaten sausage? Come on,
Yeah,
you don't want to know what's in there.
There's one rule that you don't want to know. Now, I'm going to, after this, Jimmy, have a big bowl of ravioli and petroleum jelly. Ravioli and lube for dinner tonight.
You've never been.
You've never had it?
Never had that. Never had that. Are you really going to have that?
That is not a joke. That's a straight fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fettuccine and lube tonight.
Come see us on tour. We're going to be in Bakersfield, San Jose, California, Buffalo, New York, Toledo, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.